What is up, everyone? Welcome to Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony, and it's Friday. So you know what day that means, or you know what that means, other than it's Friday, the Q&A. So real quick, for those of you who don't know what the Q&A is, if you're a new subscriber or just been doing other things, every Friday we do a Q&A, and we've been doing it for a couple years now. And if you want to participate, all you have to do is ask your question in the comment section below, and it'll be featured on an upcoming Q&A. It's a lot of fun. We have good questions most of the time. So, and today I am wearing my Rolex Batgirl GMT Master 2 126710 BLNR. Yeah, so people have been asking me about the intro because I don't usually run the intro anymore. I just thought we'd get straight into it. But today I'm going to run the intro, so let's do the intro and we'll get into the Q&A. Talking Timepieces with Tony, now rolling.
You're talking timepieces with Tony. You're talking timepieces with Tony.
All right, before we get started, I just want to thank everyone who donated to, if you saw my video on Jamie, my girlfriend, I think got almost $2,000, and I really appreciate it. Jamie appreciates it too. I mean, she's just so grateful that you guys stepped up and donated. That was huge of you guys, and I really appreciate it. I don't know who all donated because everyone donated to her PayPal, and I didn't really ask who or whatever. She just, gets the money and whatever. I do appreciate Al, my buddy Al, who went to my PayPal, and I just forwarded that to her. So you guys, I really appreciate it. And I got a lot of backlash on that too. So you know what, for the real negative stuff, the way I look at it, I'm just trying to help another person out, regardless of she being my girlfriend. We haven't been dating all that long. So, but nevertheless, I really appreciate it. So let's get into the Q&A, all right? First question comes from Michael DeMarco. Michael, what's up? In fact, today I was wearing your watch. Got it right here on my table. For those of you who don't know DeMarco watches, micro brand, just great everyday beater watch, super high quality, and they're fun, super comfortable as well. So thanks, Michael, again for that. I love this watch. Tony, the suspense of the new Rolex is killing us. Haha. That's for those of you who know. I was going to get the new Rolex, and it hasn't come in yet, so it's all right, which is fine right now because when I say I've spent way more than I anyway, hopefully soon. Question: I've developed a really great relationship with the AD here in the Northeast. They gave me some insight on to how many Pepsis they got last year. The number was 20. The question is, do you think different size ADs get larger or smaller allocations? I honestly find this fascinating that this AD got 20 Pepsis and they are on the smaller side. Thanks for your question, man. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, especially when you've got Bucherer, when Rolex purchased Bucherer, I mean, Bucherer is huge. So I would imagine there's a whole lot more watches going to Bucherer than they are the smaller boutiques, And it comes down to, I mean, the client base, how many watches they're selling per year, what their record is, their track record. So I would imagine, and I don't know this for fact, but I would imagine that like places like Bucherer, or the larger ADs will get a larger allocation of watches just based off of the size and their customer base. And so I would think so. So appreciate your question, man. This one comes from Justin R9245. Hi, Tony. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you for watching, man. Appreciate it. For the Yacht-Master 40 Rolesium, I'd like to hear if you like the slate or the bright blue dial more and why. Thank you. I mean, overall, I'm not a huge fan of the Yacht-Master, but if I was going to have a Yacht-Master, I would go with the slate, the gray dial, any day of the week. Absolutely. Blue is cool. It's a nice looking watch, but I think blue is just, man, there's so many blue watches, and I've got a few of them myself. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit more classy looking and understated, but classy. Blue is a little bit more, the sun ray in your face kind of thing, which is still nice, but I would definitely go with the slate dial for sure. Thanks for your question, man. I appreciate it. Next one from Sean Miller 7187. What's up, Sean? How are you? If you had the power to resurrect a defunct watch brand, which brand would that be? Oh, I don't know. Universal Genève. That's Universal Genève. Oh shit. I think Breitling did that, didn't they? I mean, so I guess no, not that one. How about Minerva? Minerva would be killed. You know, Minerva, they made chronograph movements. They were famous for chronograph movements, and they made watches as well. And they were all on par with like Patek Philippe. Unfortunately, they got killed off by the quartz movement. I mean, the quartz crisis, so to speak. So I would say Minerva. Minerva. Oh wait, sorry. I think Mont Blanc has got that fucking shit handled now, don't they? So what other brands are there? I know. How about Bucherer? Carl F. Bucherer watches. A freaking amazing brand established in 1888. And I mean, beautiful, gorgeous watches. And then what happens? Rolex purchases Bucherer. And now Rolex just killed off Bucherer. Why? Well, they probably don't have a high track record of sales. They are a little bit pricey, but they're beautiful watches. I had a Bucherer several years ago, and I just can't remember. It was a pan something or other, but I just can't remember. But it was a beautiful watch. So it would probably be Bucherer. I'm. It's a shame that they that Rolex had to kill him off like that. But hey, business is business, right? Thanks for your question, Sean. Next one comes from Beetlefang. Hi Tony, do you have or recommend any skeletonized watches besides the open heart? I'm not sure if I want one, just kind of looking into them at this time. I don't care about the brand, but want a legible watch. Well, I wouldn't consider the open heart a skeleton. I mean, you're talking about like a skeletonized watch. I mean, you can go with a skeletonized dial like the Zenith Skyline, the Defy Skyline. That's a beautiful watch. I have that watch, and it's super legible. It doesn't look like it is, but it actually is. It was really legible. You know, it's a a great watch. You can go with the Tissot Skelet. I think that's around $2,000. The Defy is probably around $11,000. The Skelet Tissot is about 2,200 bucks. And that's a nice looking watch. You didn't say what your price point is. You know, you're just kind of like saying you don't care about the brand, I guess. You can go with the Accutron Space View, I think it's called. Another one, made by Bulova, Accutron Bulova. Another nice looking watch. Or you can go with the Cartier Santos. That's now where you're getting into the $30,000 price point, but I don't know what your price point is. Or the Santos Dumont skeleton, which is another beautiful watch. So, take your pick, man. They're out there, and they're good. I don't know how legible the Accutron is. I mean, I've worn the Cartier, and that's legible. So, but I appreciate your question, dude. Yeah. Okay, next one comes from Golf Cart _9797. Tony, you the man. No, you the man. I wanted to ask why Tag Heuer doesn't get more credit. I recently bought a blue dial Solargraph Aqua Racer 200, and in person, this watch totally shocked me. Reliable, well made, and beautiful. Why doesn't Tag get more love with the current models? They seem like a great bang for your buck. And thanks again, and glad you're safe from the fires. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I don't know. I mean, it's the watch market and people in general are, they're kind of, it's fickle. You know what I mean? It's like no matter how much publicity or what they push, and people just aren't buying it. Like, I mean, Tag's still a pretty healthy brand. Don't get me wrong. And I love their new. Shit, it's the Carrera. It's the purple one. It's a chronograph. It's like $6,500. I think that watch is beautiful. I love that watch. I'd almost buy that watch, but it's just the way it is. It's like if you look at Zenith, you know what I mean? It's like they're a healthy brand, but it's just, it doesn't matter who pushes them. I don't know. They just haven't hit that to where they're just like a sought after watch or there's any hype behind them. You know what I mean? So the Aqua Racer, is that what not the Aqua Racer? The chronograph anyway is got 80-hour power reserve as well. You know what I mean? So it's got a massive power reserve. So it's really good. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Marketing, I don't know. Thanks for your question, dude. This one comes from Richard Barron 9934. Tony, enjoy your videos. I have a 1998 GMT2 16710 Coke. I bought it new and it's the most treasured thing I own. Wow, that's cool, man. I mean, that's, beautiful watch. The bezel has faded and the red is now pink. I know collectors love faded bezels, but I don't plan on selling it, and I wish the color was as sharp as when I first bought it. Do you recommend getting a new bezel, or do you think it's a travesty to do that? Thanks and take care. Well, I mean, it's your watch, I would keep it the way it is, but at the same time, because obviously it just adds that character, and you've had that watch since it was new, so you wore that. That's a sort of a badge of honor in a sense, what you did with it. You know what I mean? But you could get another bezel for it, and then take the other one off, and then keep it in a little plastic baggie or whatever, just to keep it safe if that's what you want to do. But I would keep it as is. I don't know. I mean, that's just me. So, but best of luck on what you decide you want to do. Thanks for your question, man. This next one comes from Tom R6U5T. Tony, I watch your channel religiously, weekly. What do you consider to be the best aftermarket textile and also rubber straps? Looking to put something else on my Grand Seiko. The bracelet is comfortable, but I don't like the look of it. Don't blame me for that one, man. Well, I for like rubber and textile, you can go with I use WIS WIS. I'm a little biased with them because they've given me several straps and I appreciate them. And they're a great company. I believe Everest has. I don't know if they do textile stuff or if it's just rubber. And then of course there's Rubber B. I don't want to promote brands I don't know, but I also don't think that price determines the quality of a strap, because I have some like FKM rubber straps that were like $40 that are equally as good as a $200. I won't say the brand that I couldn't stand that I bought from my Omega, but so it's really just looking around to again, I don't, as far as the textile aspect of straps, I don't buy too many of those. So, but there are a lot of strap companies out there, so just keep in mind that it's not always about how much it costs. It's just really the quality and how it's going to fit on your wrist. You know what I mean? So, but I appreciate your question, dude. Thank you. This comes from CJR1324. My collection right now consists of one Rolex Explorer, 39 millimeter, a Rolex GMT Master 2 red blue bezel, 3 Rolex Daytona white dial, Cartier Santos large, Tudor bulk bay, Black Bay 41, burgundy, Grand Seiko SBG A413, Breitling Aerospace B70 Orbiter, and Casio G-Shock. It's taken nearly a year to determine what new watch should be next. The Blancpain 50 Fathoms 42 millimeter blue, full bracelet. Question for you: what is your process for managing your collection, deciding what stays and what goes and what's next? Is there an overarching strategy? Strategy? Does brand diversity matter? Does value retention matter? Enjoy what you do. Keep up the good work. That's more than one question, dude. Can't answer that. I'm just kidding. Um, when I think about what stays or what goes, I don't really think about the brand retention or the value. You know what I mean? I just think about what watches I'm wearing. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not that guy that's like, well, this is worth so much money and I'm going to keep that. And this isn't worth that much money, so I'm going to get rid of that. You know what I mean? And it's not like the dollar amount of my collection as opposed to just the collection of watches that I, wear more on a consistent basis. To be honest with you, the two watches I wear the most, and I'm sure you guys can guess, are my Zenith Pilot and my Rolex Sub 14060M. Those are the watches I wear the most. Those are my daily go-to. And so those are a staple, you know what I mean? And yeah, so as far as what it goes, it also just depends, like I say, for the most part, if I'm not wearing it at all or whatever, and I'm just, or something that I didn't bond with, then it doesn't stay. So appreciate your question, man. UMQ5147. Thank you for all of your videos. Thank you for watching, man. Appreciate it. I have a lot of watches and need to be pickier, adding more. Okay, now I don't know what you're saying here. I dot, period. I dot period have an Omega Snoopy. So you're either saying do have an Omega Snoopy, and you just added a T and then a period after that, or I don't have an Omega Snoopy. Do you think it's a special watch, or which Omega would you recommend? I like to add Omega to my collection. So you're saying that you don't have an Omega, so I guess you don't have the Snoopy. I don't think you can just go in and buy the Snoopy though. You know what I mean? You'd have to get that on the gray market. You have to establish something with Omega before you can get the Snoopy. As far as that's how it used to be. I don't know if that's how it is now. You have to go to the Omega boutique, but you can never go wrong with an SMP 300. You know, Seamaster 300. Those are, you know, robust. And I had one. I had the white one. It was beautiful, and I love that watch. Very reliable, very accurate. You got the Speedy, of course. So there's always the Speedy. Aquaterra. You can go with an Aquaterra. You know, they're all Omega watches are pretty decent. You know what I mean? It's like I don't hate on Omega. They're just not a brand I'm that much into, but you know they make great watches. You know, for the most part. So you can't go wrong with any of those. So I wish you the best of luck, man. And the Silver Snoopy, that would be the one I would buy in a second if it was offered to me. You know what I mean? So thanks, dude. Okay, so this next one comes from Ben Bausback, Bausback. Hey, Tony, man, just stumbled upon your content recently, but I love it. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Wanted to reach out and ask for your thoughts on a question, if you don't mind. For Datejust 36, I know a lot of this is subjective, but just like to hear some of your thoughts. I'm kind of torn between a Wimbledon dial or a silver dial. Love the uniqueness of the Wimbledon, but the silver is a nice timeless look. What made you move on from the silver and go with the Wimbledon? All right, man, thanks for your question. It's not that I moved on from the silver and went with the Wimbledon. It's like I just have a bunch of Rolex, you know what I mean? But I can tell you my problem with the silver dial, Datejust, it was a 41, not a 36. And I just couldn't read the time. It was silver dial with silver hands, or, you know, white gold. And, you know, I just couldn't read the time on it. You know, very similar sort of scenario to my Daytona. But, and then when you go with the Wimbledon, you know, you've got more of a slate gray dial. It's not silver, so it's gray. I just love the aesthetic more of the Wimbledon. That's like my favorite Datejust, you know, and that's 36. So it's not so much moving from one to the next. It's just that I couldn't really read the Datejust 41. So it didn't really do me any good. You know what I mean? So you make the decision what's best for you. And if you don't have eyes as bad as mine, then the silver should be fine. So thanks for your question, man. I wish you the best of luck. Hey, Tony. Love the videos, man. Keep them coming. I will. Why do you spell my name with an I? Toni. That's the way girls spell their name. I don't know. A lot of people seem to do that, though. Love the videos. Keep them coming. A fellow Angelino here. Awesome. My question is guitar related. I'm getting into electric guitars. I have a Stratocaster and need recommendations on a good amplifiers for beginners. Something that can replicate 80s vibe. Much appreciate you and Paco. Much appreciation to you and Paco. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. What when you say 80s vibes, I mean, there's a lot of different types of music that came out in the 80s. I mean, there was 80s pop, there was rock, there was hard rock, there was metal, there was like all different kinds of shit, right? So I guess for you, what I would probably do if you're a beginner, I would go out and get like a Fender Champ. Those you just can't go wrong with. The thing is, you could do something like that, but they're not that versatile. You can tweak them to, you know, the potentiometers, which is the knobs, you know, the volume, the tone, the mid, the gain. Those are called potentiometers. Or, you know, one thing when I was teaching, I used Line 6. So Line 6, like you can get a Line 6 Spider, and that has effects on it. So you can add like certain little amps with effects, and it'd be a lot more fun to play around with one of those. And they're fairly cheap, under $200, I think. So I wish you the best of luck, man. Get a good guitar teacher, though. Don't learn off of YouTube. Appreciate that, dude. All right, and then the final question. Hey, Tony, can't wait to see the new watch when it finally comes in. Me neither. Now that you have had your Batgirl for a couple of years, how is the bracelet holding up? Any stretch? I know you did a video on this, and they are way more durable than the hollow center links previously used, but wanted to get an update in terms of longevity, durability, and any concern in the Jubilee compared to Oyster bracelets. Thanks, and keep crushing it. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's from APG8885. Yeah, man. No, there's absolutely no stretch in this bracelet, man. The new bracelets are, you know, you're not really ever going to have a problem with them, you know, the way that they've made these, you know. I mean, it's like, you know, if I take it off and you're gonna look, you'll see like, except, that's about as what they come new. You know what I mean? So no stretch. But yeah, of course, you've seen Jubilee stretch in some of those older models, right? Yeah, ain't gonna happen with this one, man. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Appreciate the questions. Again, if you want to ask your question, I appreciate everyone who likes and subscribes. It means a lot to me. And we'll see you on the next one.